Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's GeneralTarheel bringing you the APA WiFi Season 2 Week 12 battle versus Coach Lindomar in the um, Seattle Serperiors. I'm just going to call him that. I don't care about this weeb stuff. So as for Week 12, this is the last match of the regular season before playoffs. We do have confirmed playoffs now, and basically this game helps decide who's at the top of the league and who will be top seed in our side of the division. So no matter what Lindomar was saying in his video, this battle did matter technically. I guess he didn't really care about his seeding. Basically, winner would go between Jacob and Automatic, which ended up being Jacob, and then loser would have to face Jock. So as for this battle, Lindomar I was kind of looking forward to play because he was doing well just like me in the division along with Kelly and whatnot. Looking forward to these divisional matches because I don't know, it's just more interesting considering the coaches that are doing better I actually get able to face at the end of the season, considering I wasn't able to face like Panther, which kind of sucks, but it's also good for me at the same time. So Lindomar's roster consists of Thundurus-I, Alola Ninetales, Necrozma, Cobalion, Tentacruel, Rotom Heat, Mega Houndoom, Dusknoir, Exploud, Aselgor, and Celebi. His two Zmons being Thundurus-I and Celebi. A few things to note about his team normally. He's brought Tentacruel every game, Thundurus-I right behind that. He always brings a speedy Tentacruel, which is kind of weird in my opinion, but also bulky. Landorus is normally either Z-Move or Yachi. He's brought Screens Rotom Heat, dual Screens Rotom Heat more times than he's brought Aurora Veil, Alola Ninetales, I'm pretty sure. And then, he really likes, if he brings Necrozma, it's stored power, or at least it's some kind of Calm Mindset. He prefers the setup version instead of a defensive version. So knowing that into the build, it was kind of easy to know what I was going to do. Didn't really have a specific Mon that I wanted to rotate around. I really just wanted to counter his main possibilities and any other routes he could go this game. So first up, I have Entei. This did a lot versus team, first of all, and then it was also a decent check to Mega Houndoom because I was Assault Vest. So I was Assault Vest Entei with Sacred Fire, Bulldoze, Extreme Speed, Stone Edge. Does not really have a lot of counters because Bulldoze still does a lot to Tentacruel. And if I catch the Rotom Heat on switching, if he is bulky Rotom Heat, then it is a 2-shot Stone Edge. Landorus is his best counter considering he does get off the Intimidate, but he does risk Landorus coming into a Sacred Fire, and then I have a 50% chance of the burn on the Landorus, which would be very helpful. But Entei also just helps counter Celebi as well for a special attacker. I can take a Scald from Tentacruel in order to get off a Bulldoze if I really wanted, stuff like that. Next up is Milotic. This was a special defensive Milotic with just enough speed, so Rotom Heat couldn't creep me. No, Rotom Heat's faster than me. So something couldn't creep me, I don't really care. Maybe it was Explode, I have no clue. I have leftovers with Haze, Recover, Skull, Toxic. Haze was mainly because he can't have the Necrozma like I mentioned, as well as possibly maybe Dual Dance Landorus, could have a Calm Mind or Nasty Plot or Swords Dance Celebi, Nasty Plot Houndoom, anything like that. So, and then Skull just hits a lot of his team, doesn't really have too many counters. Getting a burn on Tentacruel would be very nice. And then Toxic is just helpful for some of his counters to Milotic. I really was considering a possible Mirror Coat just in order to hit that with Houndoom, the Rotom Heat, or the Celebi, or the Alola Ninetales with Freeze Dry. But I really felt like Haze was going to be better versus the possible Necrozma, because Necrozma is just a pain with setup. So, next up we have an offensive Choice Scarf Gliscor with Hyper Cutter, not Poison Eel. We have Earthquake, Iron Tail, Stone Edge, and Ice Fang. Basically, this was just did a good amount versus team on paper, like honestly, and then you realize how bad Gliscor is after. But it does a lot of things with Earthquake and what it can hit with Stone Edge, like the Rotom Heat, and then the Scarf Iron Tail, of course, destroys the Ninetales. Unfortunately, Stone Edge wouldn't knock out the Alolan Ninetales from full, even if he was offensive and not just HP invested. So, and then the Ice Fang does not kill Lando from full if he's just full offensive. It will do max like 85% if he's just full offense. So, and then next up we have Gengar with the Colbur Berry. This was Sludge Wave, Shadow Ball, Focus Blast, and Psychic. once again, just a lot of coverage versus team. It helped me versus the Mega Houndoom in case he was a little bit of attack invested with Pursuit. That's why I wanted the Colbur Berry. It also helps me just in case for the obvious Dark Pulse, considering he wouldn't click Fire Blast, because an obvious switch in would be my Lodic or my possible Druddigon. So. And then I just really had coverage for everything else. There's no real reason behind it. I was considering HPIs for Lando, but at the same time wasn't expecting Scarf, and I could freely just get off Shadow Ball damage and not even worry about it. So, and then next up we have Thundurus. This was a modest Nasty Plot Thundurus with Electrium-Z. Nasty Plot Thunderbolt, Hidden Bar Ice, and Focus Blast. This absolutely swept his team once Houndoom was gone, basically, unless he had a possible Scarfer in the back. I knew what mons I could set him on and what mons could actually stop me. The +2 Electrium-Z does knock out a Rotom if he is an HP Spadef Rotom, so there's that. That's the reason I had to run Modest. Also, I didn't really need it for speed because in case he went down with a level 9 Tails on speed creeping, then my Thundurus would still outspeed. So. And then next up we have a interesting Druddigon set with the Expert Belt, Sheer Force, Roar, Stealth Rock, Rock Slide, Earthquake. His team's pretty ground weak actually. That's one thing I noticed. And then he does have a few immunities and whatnot, but it's still decently weak in my opinion. So that's why Earthquake was helpful, and then Rock Slide allows me to get a lot of damage off on the Rotom as well as the Ninetales. The Expert Belt Rock Slide ensured a knockout on the level Ninetales, as well as the HP and Spadef investment I had into Druddigon allowed me to live any hit from the level Ninetales. Unless he was full offense Blizzard, then that would kill me. So. Roar was just another counter to the Necrozma just in case I needed it, so. Going for that into the battle, I knew when I saw Exploud he was just going to lead it and claim a kill because that's what it does versus my team. I was actually surprised, I'm just going to go ahead and start it up. I was actually surprised when I saw his video that he was not Fire Blast on his Exploud because the Spadef Mega Scizor can take on that Exploud easily. And I've normally run Spadef Mega Scizor, so. But either way, I was right as he did opt to lead his Explode, and Panther did this without volume again, but I'm going for it because it's already Sunday, uploading this right after I record it. I'm just going to click Earthquake, get off damage, and of course Gliscor's going to go the entire season without getting a kill, so that's awesome. It's very unfortunate because I felt Gliscor was going to at least have some offensive potential, but I guess I just couldn't work with it. I really liked it defensively, but just couldn't do it. So Gliscor does go down turn 1 to the Boomburst, but I'm just going to go right into my Gengar. I'm going to go for Sludge Wave. There's no reason to predict him going into Tentacruel because I want to get the for sure kill if he decides to stay in. I don't know why he would, but that's why I just opted to go for the Sludge Wave here, and I would go for the Psychic the following turn. Assuming Tentacruel really wasn't going to do much versus me, I could two-shot it with Psychic based off the damage that happened right here. I was assuming he uses Spadef Tentacruel, but I should have known better, considering he's always got the speed, but he tries to make a double into his Exploud as I just click Psychic. And that will take down the Exploud all the way down there. His reason was me going into my Lodic. I don't know why I would go into my Lodic. I would just get it freely Toxic, which is pointless. So he goes into Mega Houndoom here, trying to predict the Psychic. As I go for the Sludge Wave, he is not handling this Gengar well at all. I'm going to point out every move, by the way, just because he claimed I was clicking buttons this game. So as he Mega Evolves with Mega Houndoom, I'm staying in with Gengar. I EV'd it to live a Fire Blast if he opted to go for that. And of course I will live any Dark Pulse and Sucker Punch or anything like that. So as he goes for the Dark Pulse, I do eat my Colbur Berry. And the good news about getting that Sludge Wave damage off is that I can freely click Sludge Wave again. Normally, if the Houndoom just came in on Gengar, I would have to risk landing the Focus Blast. So, as the Mega Houndoom goes down, thankfully, now he will just go into his Celebi. And I'm not sure what the Celebi could be. It looks like it might be Scarf, but it could also be like AV and stuff like that. But I want to go into my Entei just to scout, because my Entei is Assault Vest. It can easily handle this. I don't have to keep the Assault Vest for Mega Houndoom since it is dead now, so. He goes for the Psychic. He does show to be an offensive Celebi, assuming that he's probably Scarf, but that's fine. I'm just going to go for the hard Stone Edge here, because if he is Screen's Rotom, I really don't want to deal with that. It's a very fair play to make, because I can two-shot the Tentacruel as well, since he's probably not defensive investment, so. I was really close to clicking Sacred Fire, but like I already said, I really hate this Rotom, so I want to kill it if I can. So I click Stone Edge again as he goes into his Lando T. Getting off the Intimidate. And this Stone Edge does show that he is a little bit of HP, but he's mainly an offensive Lando. Now right here, I was really deciding what my switching was going to be because I'm not a defensive Milotic, and I'm only a decently bulky Triticon. Basically, everything is 2-shot by Earthquake. So I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do here. But timer decided to like run out, and I saw it at like 2 seconds, so there was no way I was gonna have time to switch. So I just clicked Sacred Fire, and luckily he goes for Stealth Rocks instead of going for an attacking move, and I do click Sacred Fire here. And we do not get the burn, unfortunately. It would have been helpful versus Thundurus, but that's fine. Now right here I go into Thundurus. He has no reason to click a Fly Z on a Entei, just an Entei, but he was getting upset that that was a possibility for him to do that because he almost did. But you had no reason to do that versus an Entei. So, next up, he does make the switch into Tentacruel. As I go for Hidden Power Ice, I've used Tentacruel. Tentacruel was one of the first bulky waters I used in Draft League format. And I know what Tentacruel does, and that's Mirror Coat. So he was either Wakanberry Mirror Coat or Assault Vest Mirror Coat. So I just go for the Nasty Plot right on this Tentacruel's face as he goes for Mirror Coat, and that's perfectly fine. The advantage of this is that I can freely click Nasty Plot again, knowing he has to make a switch. If he stays in and go for an attacking move, I'm totally fine with that. But he just goes into Explode, wanting to make a sack. As I click the Nasty Plot again, I really lost nothing in my opinion. So I just go for the T-Bolt here, taking out the Explode. Now the only way I lost this game at this point if he was a Scarf Celebi. That was the only way I could possibly lose. Of course he would have to make sacks in order to get me down to where Psychic could actually kill me. So, and that's what he does. As he just goes for the U-turn here. Now since I still wasn't sure what the Celebi was, it was offensive, but I knew it could have been like offensive Assault Vest. Now, I decided to click Electric Z in case he was possible like Yachi and he was sending it on my Gengar for some reason to bluff Scarf. But I clicked Electric Z here because one, I did not need it versus any of his Mons now. So anything that come in could kill except for Landorus. Second, if he was Assault Vest Celebi, that did more damage than Hidden Power Ice. Hidden Power Ice would not actually kill an offensive Assault Vest Celebi. Electrium Z would, since I was modest. So there's your reasoning for that, Lindomar. So as I go for the Hidden Power Ice, I will just take out the Landorus here, which is very nice. He is forced to go for U-turn one more time with his Celebi before I am in range of the Psychic, unless he was Modest Scarf, which would be bad prep in my opinion. As he goes for the U-turn, I'm just clicking Hidden Power Ice here. I can two-shot the Rotom with a Tentacruel. I would click Thunderbolt again because he can't risk going into Celebi on that play. But I just click the Hidden Power Ice as it does take down the Rotom just to the red, and I can just freely click it again, just in case he wants to make that double. No reason to click any other move. And the Rotom does go down, so he's just left the two Pokemon. Thundurus is doing a great job. Now this is a roll for the Psychic to kill if he was max special attack damage, which he was. And I knew if Thundurus wasn't going to set up or anything like that again, and Entei basically had the game for me at this point, I felt like. So I was just going to risk the roll here, and unfortunately we didn't get it. So Thundurus didn't just get the full-on sweep, which would have been nice. But we're just going to go right to Entei here. I really wanted to click Sacred Fire, but the fact is if he goes Tentacruel, I eat a Scald, so I really lose nothing. Or sorry, I really want to click Bulldoze here. But since the Celebi is Scarf and Timid, I know it will outspeed my Entei if I go for the Bulldoze after, and I will just die to two Psychics, so that is not worth. So I'm forced to click Sacred Fire here. As the Tentacruel does come in, showing he's just an HP Assault Vest set. And he's going to go for the Scald here, and Entei's just going to eat it up as I go for the Bulldoze. And this will take out the Tentacruel, giving Entei a nice kill. And lastly is his Celebi. Celebi has to force itself into Psychic, otherwise it cannot beat my team, which is very good. So I know my Milotic can 1v1 it considering I am Spidef. I just have to land the Toxic and just spam recover. there we go for the extreme speed chip, just to make it a little bit faster. And basically at this point, it's just like I said, I just have to land the Toxic. If he gets any sped F drops, I am free to switch out and go into either my Dredagon or sack my Gengar in order to just bring my Lodic right back in. So, which would probably be sacking the Gengar. So as he just goes for the Psychic, you see that does nothing, and I land the Toxic turn 1. So as of right now, I am just going to spam recover with my Lodic until Celebi is low enough. Let's see if this is the turn where it dies. Nope. Yeah, my Lodic will kill it with Scald this turn after the Psychic. So we do pick up the win versus Lindomar. So we did finish the league as regular season champ. Ended up being coach of the season. Thundurus was tier 1 MVP with 18 kills, which is very nice. Garchomp did get more with 25. Screw you, Silver. But he was accounted for MVP overall instead of just tier 1 MVP. So Thundurus got tier 1 MVP. Rabambe got tier 5 MVP. Shouldn't have been tier 5 in the first place. And then I got coach of the season because I led the league with rocking 10-2, only plus 27 because they did only average like a plus 3 differential per game, but it's still good. So as we go into playoffs next week, we will be taking on Jacob as always, and his Green Bay Pikachu has a very scary roster. I was hoping Otto was going to win. Not going to lie, just because that would have been an easier match. But Otto unfortunately lost and is out of the league now. So that will be it for the regular season APA Wi-Fi. I will see you for round 1 in the playoffs. Hopefully we can continue the streak and maybe get a win for Wi-Fi. If not, then you will see me in PMU as well as the CBA. I have a lot I will be uploading apparently right now. So that'll be it for me this week. Make sure to sub, like, share, deuces.